This is Bofades, and he has one goal: earn 1 million gold inside ZF alone. Not item value, not potential auction house profit, not theoretical gold, literal gold. That means Bofades cannot leave this dungeon until there's exactly 1 million gold sitting in his bags. Every transmog sell, every raw gold drop, every vendor item, every piece of cloth, it all has to eventually turn into real gold before this challenge is complete. Alright everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of Bofades' journey into ZF, trying to earn 1 million gold. Today's video is going to cover runs 21 through 30, and as you can see over here to the left, you can see that a lot of his auctions are expiring, so we're not having a lot of luck with the transmog just yet, but that's okay. Let's do a quick mail check to see where we're standing. So as we can see in the mail, we have a lot of expired items, but we did make a little bit of gold. All of this 1646 gold that we made here is all trade goods, all materials, leather, cloth, gems, just miscellaneous stuff that sells every day. So if I were to open all the mail here, we'll see that our starting gold for this episode is 4,482 gold. And I'm going to go ahead and repost all this stuff before we start. All right, I posted everything. That costs around 200 gold just to post things, which is kind of crazy now. And before we start these runs, I like to look for speed armor before we start because we are in a bad situation when it comes to our speed. Alright, no luck with speed gear today, unfortunately, but we will check again tomorrow, or I might check on his bank tunes in his warband, see if we can find anything later today. I accidentally auctioned my fried bonefish. I had to cancel that real quick. Alright, one final note before we start. As you can see, I have 7 reinforced steel lockboxes. Once I get to 10 of these, I'm going to vendor all of them and go learn Enchanting. The reason I'm going to vendor 10 is because that's going to be the punishment for me to quote-unquote not be locked to ZF for 5 minutes. I should have thought about that before I started. It's my fault, but this will be the toll that we pay so that we can learn Enchanting, so that I can begin disenchanting all the least valuable items in here and also all the boss drops, because I think the enchanting mats, I think, will help out quite a bit towards our quest to 1 million gold in this dungeon. Alright, so let's get started. Oh, we got a blue right off the bat. Flaming Incinerator. Oh, Tyrant's Chest Piece, 23k. So, Loot Appraiser is kind of funny in terms of what it's trying to tell me right now, what these things are worth. And this leads me to a comment that I had on a video that I want to share real quick. This guy says, Loot Appraiser is a fake dopamine farming add-on. Nice vid. And to that I want to say you're not wrong. Loot Appraiser is basically like a slot machine that tells me my 47 silver vendor trash is worth like 200k gold, right? But honestly, that's part of the fun of why I do this and why a lot of us do this. It is fake dopamine, but when you're running the same dungeon for the 300th time, sometimes fake dopamine is exactly what the doctor ordered. And I'm going to be in this dungeon for a very long time unless I hit it big and something sells. So I'm going to have Loot Appraiser running this entire time, and that's going to be the crux of my videos, basically just sharing what it's telling me is worth a lot. And then as we sell things, we'll kind of determine how off it was. You might be wondering why I am recording every single drop. And the reason is that what would stop me from potentially just going to try to find some glorious leg plates for, 10k, 12k, whatever, and then flipping them, and then acting like I've made 500k on this challenge, right? So I'm trying to record every drop to make sure that you can see that I'm being very honest and transparent with how this is going. Magnificent Cloak, 28k. Rage Claw leggings, 7,900. So this is the first run of the day, and we're already at 69k looted item value. And if you watch my previous video, the first run of the day yesterday, I think we ended it at 4k. It's insane. Ancient Chest Piece, 13. Bonecaster's Cape, 5k. Bone Link Armor, 15k. Bloodforged Shield, that's a big one, 52k. So we were at 101k looted item value after our first run, and if that trajectory stays true, we'll be at 1 million after 10 runs. High Chief's Gauntlets, 37k. Rage Claw Shoulder Pads, 12k. Ooh, Pride Lord Pants, Celestial Slippers, both in the 30s. Scorpashi Slippers, 1900. Potent Belt, 3300. Lunar Sphere, 18k. Ancient Crown, 13k. Sorcerer Mantle, 1600. War Strike Arm Splints, 174k. Jade Belt, Griffin Mail Bracelets. Hey, we got another reinforced steel lockbox. Another box. That puts us at 9. One more. We can go learn Enchanting. Ancient chest piece. Impenetrable gauntlets. I think we got one of these yesterday too. Warbringer shield, 30k. Alright, we just picked up our 10th reinforced steel lockbox. So after these runs, we're going to head over to Silvermoon, vendor these, learn Enchanting, and then stone back real quick. So I just took a look at these rings, and I found that one of these has speed on it, +4 speed. So 4 is not a lot, but we're definitely going to equip this to up our speed numbers. And that puts us at 9% now. Indomitable Arm Guards, 38k. Bonecasters Sarong, 44k. Protector Cape, 7k. Potent Pants, 4k. Highborn Cloak, 1700. Sunscale Wrist Guards, 6400. Venom Shroud Boots, 2300. Bonecasters Spalders and Peerless Belt. Peerless Belt, 19k. Keeper's Cloak, 53. Bloodwoven Cord, 4300. I think we have several pieces of the Bloodwoven set. Bone Link Epaulets, 7900. Jade Epaulets, 10k. Another Warstrike Cape, and then Grand Shoulders, 126k. Protector Pads, about 5k. Oh, and those Protector Pads put us over the 1,000,000 gold looted item value mark for these 10 runs. This is our last run, and as you can see up the top, my fried bonefish is going to run out. Currently, at the 9% speed that we have, these runs, I'm not able to get 10 in an hour. I have to run like an extra one after the hour's up. High Chief's Bindings, 11k. I think I'm also running these slower because I'm stopping and talking for the video, so it's my own fault. More Potent Pants, 4k. Sorcerer Mantle again, 1600. Got a blue Dark Phantom Cape, 3700. Ooh, another blue, 22k for the Bloodletter Scalpel. Alright, that concludes runs 21 through 30. We have a looted item value of over 1,000,000 gold, which is kind of insane. We're going to head over to Silvermoon real quick, and we are going to learn Enchanting. Alright, as promised, I'm going to vendor 10 of these reinforced steel lockboxes. I know that there could be something very valuable in them, but this is the price I'm going to pay for leaving ZF for a few minutes to learn Enchanting and then getting back, because I know that I said that I was locked to the dungeon the entire time, but this is just kind of like one of those things I feel like I need to do to help the runs go by a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to vendor all 10 of these. And I'm going to walk over to the Enchanting trainer instead of the Tailoring trainer. And here we are. We're going to learn Enchanting, Classic Enchanting. Bofades does not need to learn Midnight Enchanting because we will not be in Midnight on this guy for a very long time. Let's go ahead and stone back to Gadgetzan. Alright, we are back in Gadgetzan. Let's go ahead and quickly fly back over to ZF. Alright, and here we are. And as far as my timer goes, that took about 4 minutes. Alright, we are done with runs 21 through 30. I have already vendored all the gray items, and you can see in my bags that I have a few greens and several blues, boss drops that are left over. And our current gold is sitting at 58.92. When it comes to disenchanting, you want to make sure that the disenchant value is more than the vendor price of the item. So if I were to vendor the shriveled troll hearts, which you can't even vendor these, but if I were to vendor these necklaces that I get, they vendor for 66 silver, whereas the disenchant value is potentially 14 gold. So it makes sense to disenchant all the bind on pickup items from these runs, which I will be doing from here on out. It is not necessarily true for the greens, however. As you can see from this percussion shotgun of the Fire Flash, the vendor price is 36 gold, and the disenchant value is 25 gold. So this will be something that I'll be looking out for as I disenchant all the various items that I get. I will say that if there are items that go for 1,000 or maybe 2,000 on the auction house that have a very, very low sell rate, I might disenchant them as well. It's going to depend on the numbers, and I'll try to explain those as we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to disenchant all of the boss drops real quick. And shriveled troll hearts. And that right there is why we're going for these right here, the Greater Eternal Essence. We got 3 from that one. Alright, from disenchanting the rest of the bind on pickup blues that I had in my bag, I was able to get 42 large brilliant shards, which is not a lot, but we were able to get 12 greater eternal essences, which pushes us up to 224 gold, which would be considerably more than the 12 gold or so that I would have made just vendoring those items. I typically do not try to sell the necklaces and the rings on the auction house, and so what I'm doing now is I'm checking the vendor price, the sell price, and 7 silver, 53 silver, 49 silver, so these are going to be worth disenchanting as well. Alright, we got a few more brilliant shards out of that, we got 3 more greater eternal essences, and we got 3 illusion dusts from disenchanting the rings and the necklaces. I found that it's better to sell these clams unopened than opening them, because you get way more of the clam meat than you get anything else. So I'll just be listing them as they are. Next thing I'm going to say is that we were left with 2 more reinforced steel boxes. These will always be sent to one of Bofades' warband auction house tunes. She's going to keep them in her bank until we get 100, and then once we get 100, she's going to open them all up with BFA inscription, and that will be a special episode that will happen every, I don't know, 50, 70 runs or so. Alright, so as far as the best items, it looks like the Warstrike arm splints, grand shoulders, and impenetrable gauntlets are the top 3. We're going to take a look at them on Undermine Exchange now. Okay, the Warstrike arm splints, there are 117 across all US realms. The lowest one is going for 4,800 with a median price of 184k, a mean of 214. Let's see what the lowest is. The lowest is Moonguard, and then Ragnaros, Trollbane. So what I might try to do is be competitive with this range right here. Maybe price mine in the 11 to 20k range to see how it goes. Asglor at 15k is crazy. This is my very first server, by the way. So anyway, I'm obviously going to compete with the server that I'm on, either the one that Bofades is on or the one that one of his warband auction house tunes is on. But we'll try to be competitive and try to sell these quickly instead of listing them for 200k or whatever and then relisting them over and over for a year. The next item is the Grand Shoulders. There are 115 of these across all US realms. Looks like there's one going for 1,000 somewhere. Feathermoon, Fire Tree, Area 52. Again, as I mentioned in a previous episode, Area 52 is where you find the deals, guys. If you're not on Area 52, if you're a collector and you want to get as much transmog as possible, Area 52 seems to be a good place to go. I'll probably price mine in the 8 to 10k, 8 to 12k range, maybe. Try to get a quick sell. And if you are watching this and you want to flip mine, the one that I put up here for between 8 and 12k, and try to sell it over here in one of these, go for it. I don't care. And then impenetrable gauntlets. I think we looked at this yesterday. There are 155 across all US realms. The lowest is 1,000. The median is 93k. If we were to go down and take a look at this, the lowest one is on Moonguard, Tichondrius, Wormrest Accord, Area 52 again, guys. See? So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. If these are my second or third pair, I definitely need to kind of spread these across the realms that Bofades and his auction house tunes are on to make sure that we're not putting a bunch on the same market. Okay, that does it for today's episode. If you enjoy WoW gold making, transmog farms, ridiculous long-term grinds, and watching a character slowly descend into dungeon farming madness, go ahead and hit subscribe, because Bofades isn't leaving ZF until he's carrying 1 million gold in his bags.
I need to get closer.